What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe this video on YouTube, and of course follow on TikTok. And yeah, let's get into this one. So, on the undercard leading up to the main event between Joe Joyce and Filip Hrgovic, we had the debut of the Olympian, who's been making a lot of noise in the amateurs. Done pretty well for himself, and that's Delicious Orie. Interesting name, Delicious. You're always gonna feel funny saying that name, but yeah, he made his debut, and fought a guy that had just a couple of wins in about 10 fights. The guy was quite a tough guy, very much sort of an overweight guy, not a body beautiful at all. And you could tell he's the sort of guy that he's brought in there to pretty much lose the fight. And this was a 4-rounder, so that showed me that they're kind of looking to take their time with Orie. They're not really looking to rush him like it was with Joe Joyce, where the big difference with Joyce that it's probably an unfair comparison, but Joe Joyce obviously turned pro late, and he's about 31, and he went straight in with Ian Lewison, who was sort of British level guy, and you could tell he had ambitions, 10-rounder or something, first fight. So Orie seems to be, he's 27 years old, so he's got a bit of time on his side. And, this was, for me, I was quite curious because I haven't followed the amateurs all that closely. So he comes with pedigree. And for me, overall, this debut was, I suppose, from my perspective, was a little bit disappointing. I think there was definitely some nerves there. I think he definitely was feeling some pressure. He done quite a decent job. I mean, the main thing was that he got the win. That's the main thing you want to get. But I think in today's heavyweight division, where it's very competitive, where, you've got prospects out there and you've got, it's unfair, but I suppose you got Moses Italma out there and guys like that. And even guys without the amateur pedigree like Fabio Wardley, knocking people out, and even guys like David Adelaide, decent amateur pedigree. But this Orie, he's meant to be the real deal from what they're talking about, the next AJ, some people have been saying. And it was one of those performances where, yeah, there were some good straight punches, but to me, he looks quite stiff, a bit robotic in his approach to the fight. He done well, he won the rounds, but it wasn't very fluid in the way that he boxed. It was very sort of stiff, very upright, just simple things, the 1-2, 1-2, simple sort of straight shots. And I personally, I thought with the guy being, so overweight and just very sort of tubby, fat guy he was fighting, I was sort of supporting him, screaming at the TV, you need to go downstairs, go to this man's body. But there wasn't really any of that. It was quite stiff, and he's even getting caught with silly shots sometimes. So I think, yes, he done well. He got the win, which is the main thing. But I think there's a lot of things to improve on. I think he needs to work on going to the body, getting a bit looser and freer. And I suppose it might just be a case of first fight nerves maybe just got to him a little bit, because it was a bit stiff. It was a bit sort of upright in the way he's delivering the punches. And for me, he just needed to loosen up a bit, whipping the shots to the body. He needed desperately to go downstairs and I reckon the way the guy was looking, the guy was tired after a couple of rounds, and the guy really did sort of look there for the taking. But the opponent was quite clever and sort of just leaning back, standing against the ropes, not really going in for any attacks. He had no real ambition. He was just there for the paycheck and just standing off of Orie. But I felt, honestly, if Orie mixed the combinations up a bit, he did, because a lot of what he done was quite predictable. Just 1-2, 1-2, straight. Just this very basic sort of unimaginative approach. That's what I kind of got from it. So yes, there's a potential there, obviously, because it's amateur pedigree, but I think there's a long way to go. It wasn't an exciting debut. It wasn't like the Joshua, the Italma, the Dubois. It wasn't like any of those guys. But at the end of the day, he's still, I suppose, got time to go. And not every you don't not everyone can have sort of a perfect or explosive debut. But for me, looking at it, I think there's potential there. But looking at that performance, I don't see him as having a very, very high ceiling. I see it as, I don't know where his ceiling actually is. For me personally, the jury is kind of out on Delicious Orie. I think I need to see more fights of him. I need to see how he performs maybe a year from now, once he's had a few fights under his belt, how he does. And does he look better than he did there? And then I can sort of judge. But for now, for me, it wasn't an impressive performance, but I think it's probably the nerves of the first fight got to him. Maybe the pressure got to him a bit. And I reckon maybe that's sort of why it wasn't very good. He just probably let things get to him. But I'm hoping that there's more to come and that we'll see better performances going forward. But thus far, for me, I wasn't impressed. I thought it was quite a stiff performance, not much imagination and variety in his punch selection. It was quite flat and quite predictable and basic, and I think that's why the opponent survived through the fight, because it's only 4 rounds and he was just doing the very basic simple stuff, which it worked for him. But going through the ranks and going up in the levels, he's going to need to have that variety in his work. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you thought about this in the comment section. Until next time, it's MK Boxing, over and out.